Good afternoon, Zambia. Good afternoon, diaspora. Good afternoon, United Kingdom. And good afternoon to everyone, wherever you're watching us from. This is Linda Banks. I'm your host. And welcome to this incredible presentation of TVBAKWETU. And in today's program, I have a very special guest, something a little bit different, away from politics and away from business. Now, someone once said to eat is a necessity, but to eat intelligently is an art. Now, I don't know if you subscribe to that notion or not, but I personally do subscribe to the notion that to eat intelligently is definitely an art. And in today's program, we are going to be joined by this incredible woman who is based in London, Lewisham to be specific. And I would call her an artist because she turns food into an art. But before she joins us, the usual schmuck, I would like to ask you guys to tell me where you're watching us from, just in the message below, in the comments below section, just type in the town and country where you're watching us from. That'll be amazing. And I'm sure you're going to be very inspired. If you're thinking, I want to get into business, I'm a mom, I need extra income, or you are youth, you don't know what to do with yourself, but you've got a passion to cook. Well, I would say snuggle up and join us. Okay. Whilst you do that, could I also kindly ask that you share this broadcast to every person that you can think of? At least 5 people on your social media platform. That would be amazing. Food has been quite an interesting focus over lockdown. Especially that people have been staying at home a lot, and some people lost their jobs and they didn't know what to do. Whilst other people have just got fed up of cooking their own food, and a lot of people have been buying food instead of actually cooking their own food. And this has been a result of literally just being bored. You know, they have eaten enough of their own cooking and they've decided to start buying takeaways, if you like. And this has given rise, believe it or not, to a lot of home-based business. And this is where this young lady comes in. Stacy, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for having me today.
You're welcome. And welcome to TVBAKWETU. I know you're based in London, in Lewisham to be specific. I was just fascinated by what you do. Could you just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, where you're originally from, and what prompted you to start this business?
Okay, well, I'm Stacy, and I operate Stacy's Kitchen, which is a sole trader. I do mostly seafood and Caribbean food. but the seafood is a more leading trend. That is a really top seller that goes along. I do events as well, and event decor, as well as offer delivery and collection. I'm from Jamaica, which is the Caribbean,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a passion for food from a long, long time ago. I
Mm-hmm.
had a restaurant back home before I migrated to the United Kingdom. But when I migrated to the United Kingdom, I wasn't fascinated by food. I just put that on the back bench. So it was just, I think maybe last year, one of my colleagues, as I work in the NHS, in the district nursing, one of my colleagues asked me just out of the blue, "Oh, Stacy, why don't you cook some food for me and take, and I'll pay you?" And I did. And after I did that, I get about maybe three more other orders. People wanted to order. Then I slowly but surely take it and do it. My manager as well. My manager had her birthday. She wanted to show her my pics and my photos and the videos as well. She said, "Oh, okay, you can do some food for my birthday." So we keep something at work and she orders as well. Meanwhile, other people were seeing and say, "Oh, you could do Uber Eats or whatever it is." So at that time, I was thinking about it, going through the process. While
Mm-hmm.
going through the process, someone he prompted me. Even sometimes I wanted to give up, and they say, "Go try with the council and see." So I applied with the council,
Mm-hmm.
and they sent me my registration. But because of the pandemic and stuff like that, we have the to do the hygiene check. I haven't received my hygiene check as yet. But this year, they had called me and said maybe this year I'm gonna get a check from them. But in the
Fantastic.
meantime, I'm trading just the
Mm-hmm.
same.
So, what do you need if there's someone listening in who's based in England and they want to start a home-based kitchen or restaurant? What sort of things do you need from the council to get registered?
Well, you need hygiene ratings. But you can start before the hygiene ratings, but they say we have to give them at least 28 days before you actually start trading. So you just need to let them know that you're going to operate a kitchen or home-based kitchen or restaurant, whatever it is. And
Mhm.
then after that, they will register your business, put you on the database. After they put you on the database, then they will send that you're registered. After that, they will follow up with an inspection. After the inspection, they will then give you food ratings, and then you're all set.
Fantastic. And for the inspection, what sort of things do you need to make sure that you have as a person before the inspectors come in?
Well, you just got to make sure that the surrounding is clean for people to eat, so
Mm.
that they won't get any contamination or food poisoning or stuff like that. They basically focusing that where the environment is clean, where the food is being prepared.
Mm. There's this misconception that you have to have a grand house, a manor house, to operate that sort of kitchen. Do you need to have a big house or a big kitchen?
Well, I haven't done my inspection as yet, but from that was my main worry. But from speaking to someone from the council or speaking to others that had there, they say it's not about the space really. It's just about knowing that the food is safe. So I
Mm.
don't think. But anyway, I'm a trier, so I try. If it doesn't work and they say, "Oh, you need to improve this, improve that," then I
Yeah,
will improve. I want to give up yet.
that
Well, I think
easy.
so far, once everything is clean, there's
Hmm.
no concern of hygiene, then it
Hmm.
should be fine.
Fantastic. Now you've got some incredible foods. That some really lovely pictures of the food that you actually make. Now, could you just tell us what inspired some of these dishes that you make?
Well, what inspired? Sometime I go through Instagram and I've seen people they post things and I say, okay, that's nice. Let me just try it. So I just try and then I think someone prompted me to do a Facebook page, and then from doing the Facebook page, then I didn't know about ads. And then I found out about ads. And while doing these foods, I will cook something and then I'll take a photo of it and then I'll post. I'll do something and then I'll just add a little art, add a little talent to it, add some flavorings to it. And then I just take the photos and then I post them. And then from doing the ads, then I'll get customers.
Fantastic. Now, it's very easy to get started, young people, if you're listening. It's very easy to have free advertisements using social media. But when it comes to perfecting your authentic taste? How do you go about that? What sauces do you use? How did you come to, a situation where you feel this is a nice sauce for the seafood broth, for instance? You do. I will let you talk about the lovely things that you do. Just thinking about them, I'm salivating. So I will stop right there.
Okay, well, it all depends because sometimes I like to use natural seasoning. So I blend my natural seasoning and then I use it and then I incorporate it with like the powder season. I add like a little bit of sauces here and there
Mhm,
until I get it to my flavor, which I like.
mhm,
And then that's about it. And then I add a garnish, which bring the plate. Because presentation is key. If there's no good
mhm.
presentation, you eat with your eyes.
Yeah.
So if someone looks at the food and they say, "Oh, this doesn't look good," then it's gonna be a turn off. So you have to
Mhm,
put your all in whatever you're doing, which I think I do, and I still need more to do more.
mhm. Now, Jamaica is this exotic place everyone knows, but particularly the food is incredible. And I know you've talked about a little bit about the process that you go through when it comes to seasoning. Obviously, without you revealing your secret ingredients, your secret sauces, but generally, what goes into a seafood broth, for instance?
Generally, what goes into a seafood boil, there's this season by the name. There's one, I think, two popular ones that they say, which is the Kanja seasoning, and you have one by the name of Old Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all powder season that works well.
Mm-hmm.
And garlic as well is very good. So
Mm-hmm.
people like to use garlic butter. So garlic butter goes well with like lobster or prawn, but mostly lobster. So those
Mm-hmm.
with like your natural seasoning goes well, or like with the all-purpose seasoning, those goes well with seasoning your seafood.
Fantastic. So as I was saying earlier, Jamaica is known for incredible food, among its many other things. The music, the people are amazing as well.
Mhm.
What other cuisines, Jamaican cuisines, do you offer on your menu?
I offer like oxtail, curry goat, fried chicken, jerk barbecue chicken, fried chicken. Sometimes I incorporate a little bit of Chinese, which is sweet and sour chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes our shrimp fried rice. I add a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of everything. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
also looking into doing maybe desserts, which would
Ah,
be
okay.
like waffles and stuff like that. Incorporate
Mm-hmm.
waffles, especially for the season that's coming up, the Valentine's Day.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So you do special events as well, you were saying.
Yeah, and
Could
I
you
do
just
special
talk
event
through?
like
Mhm,
birthdays, wedding receptions, and stuff
mhm.
like that. Any special occasions.
Okay. And what sort of pricing can a person look at if they have, vaguely, obviously, you don't want to reveal everything. If you have a party of 50 and you want like a seafood platter, what would they be looking at?
Well, how I do my pricing. So, for instance, it depends what they really want. Because during the pandemic, food is on the news as well. Food has risen up a lot.
Mm,
So I have to think about negotiating with them as well because it's not everybody. You have to incorporate with everyone's budget. So
mm-hmm,
as I say, like for the some seafood, like a general seafood mix or a seafood boil, it depends what they want. Because if sometimes you can have prawns by itself, like a general seafood boil, sometimes you can have lobster tail,
mm-hmm.
crab or crab legs or prawn and stuff forth. But the lobster tail price has risen so much from last year, it has gone quite high in the market. So for instance, they need like for 50 people, then I'll ask what they want
Mm-hmm.
in this to be in the seafood platter that they need. And
Sure.
then I will work out how much each person will eat. And then sometimes when you're doing events or you're cooking or you're catering, you have to budget a little bit more than what maybe like for 55
Mm-hmm.
just in case. So I'll work that out and then see how much and then I'll work with the and then I'll give the price.
Amazing. What do your kids think about you cooking as a business? You said you have a
Well, I have
child?
a daughter. She always say, "Oh, mommy, you're a chef. Your food looks so good. You're a really good chef."
So you have at least a very trusted customer within the house, which is
Yes.
fantastic. Yeah. And how difficult or easy is it as a working mom to run a business, especially being from another country.
It's very tiring. It's not easy, and sometimes you want to give up. Because I can tell you, sometimes, like as I say, I work with the NHS as well. So sometimes after I finish work, sometimes I will have like an order, like in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes as a whole, when I finish work, sometimes on a daily basis, I see like 15 patients for the day. So after
Wow.
coming home, picking up my daughter and stuff like that, then
Yeah.
I have to make that meal to do either delivery or collection. Most time it's delivery. Sometimes I do orders like in North London. So sometimes I'll have to go north, like in Tottenham or Enfield
Mm-hmm.
or somewhere about there, Edgeware. Sometimes I have orders like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sometimes to build my clientele. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not easy because I just started driving maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. So
Oh goodness.
I'm not a road runner where I go like on the
And
motorway all the
London's a
times.
nightmare generally driving through London.
Yeah, so when
Later
you're
on,
going on the motorway, and
yeah,
if you miss a turn from the sat nav, then it pushed back your journey like
yeah,
45 minutes. That's the worst nightmare ever.
yeah,
But because I have the passion and
yeah,
I want to keep pushing because that will turn off anyone. Sometimes it even delay you when this tom you take the wrong turn. You go like 45 minutes out to your
mm,
journey that was even maybe 10 minutes for you to reach there.
yeah,
So that's quite upsetting sometimes. That will turn you off. And sometimes when you come home, you're tiring. But just to focus on to know where you're going. Because in the future, seeing my business, I would like to do to do this business on a full-term basis.
mm-hmm,
Like opening a restaurant or doing it from home, but it's really will have a good impact. So
mm-hmm.
sometimes I say, no, I'm really tired at times, but I just keep pushing.
Yeah, that is a very good attitude to have. And I'm very well aware of the London roads. So if you take one wrong turn, it's nearly impossible. And depending on the time as well,
Most
especially
time
now.
it's night times. Most time
Mm,
it's even like after 6, especially when it's winter. I
yeah.
remember one day I was going, I think it was Dagenham, and I missed a turn, and it takes me all the way to Cambridge or Arlo. It was
Oh,
so upsetting.
oh no. And you've got food. You want to deliver it
And I
warm.
want to deliver it and to get back to Lewisham, but I just do it. It's just the fate. It's just the fate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So how do you manage to keep the food warm? Like you are in transit, going from one place to another. How do you
So
carry
I
your
have food
food?
warmers as well. I have food warmers,
Yeah.
so I take the food inside the warmers.
Yeah. So that is quite interesting. So as you grow, perhaps you might start considering hiring some people to actually do the deliveries whilst you focus
Yeah, I'm
on
thinking
cooking.
about that, especially in the busy times like Christmas or
Mm,
Easter, or yeah, I'll have to as time goes on. Then I think I'll have to expand a bit more.
yeah. Fantastic. Now, I'll use this phrase loosely. Being a foreigner in a foreign land, you're from Jamaica,
Yes.
and you are a Black lady running your own home-based business. Have you come across any kind of discrimination, or people not wanting to buy your food because you're from a different race, or people are just open and willing to try anything?
Well, sometimes, well, as you say that, I've never had any discrimination. I've only have problems with people paying the price.
Oh,
And sometimes the comments that they make, sometimes I do have that because sometimes, and as I say, I don't know for you, but sometimes, especially in the UK, seafood is not cheap.
no.
Consume seafood is definitely not cheap. Otherwise, from maybe chicken or whatever it is. But the
Hmm.
seafood, when it comes to seafood, some people don't want to pay. They don't understand the price of
Hmm.
the seafood. So sometimes you will tell them a price and they're still bringing it down. And the only thing that I understand that most of these people do that with me, mostly black people.
Hmm.
Because when they may be going to these stores or these shop and they say they sell them the price, they will have to take it or leave it. But I had one or few runs where they don't want to pay the price, or the things is too much, or they want to just have it as a voluntary service where exactly you
Well.
make like nothing from selling the food or you make nothing from delivering the food. And
Mm,
so sometimes it's quite upsetting. It's just
mm.
you're understanding what these people are about. But these are just tests and obstacles.
Yeah. So when you face situations like that, what keeps you going? If there's someone out there who's probably struggling with customers who are rude, or they can't manage to juggle their time, what keeps you going through difficult times?
Well, what keeps me going is you have people that are, you talk to people and they say, well, that's how business generally goes. People is going to have something to say. You're going to have good and you're going to have bad. And most of the time, the comments and the reviews that I have received are more than the negative. So I just push the negative aside and still goes on. And what keeps me going as well, some people, they are far away and they were like, oh, I want to try this food so much. I would like to do this. And some people come from Wembley just to taste my food. So I think about the positive impact, because it's not easy for someone to come to take like a 2 hours journey to try your food, or someone that's far away, like a one hour journey away, wanting to have you to set up their events or to cater for their parties or events. So the good is more than the bad.
Oh, that is great. So basically, tenacity, having tough skin and perseverance, and thinking that you can get through this, and the positives are more than the negatives, so that keeps you going. That
Yeah.
is really great. If you had to encourage someone who wants to start a home-based kitchen, they may be a mom who's just had children, and the income that is coming in is not sufficient, and they want to supplement their partner or their husband's income by cooking from home. What are specific bits of advice that you'd give them?
Well, I'll say if you want to start from home, just keep going. There's gonna be tests in the way, and there's gonna be trials, but you just have to keep going. As for the process is quite smooth, but because of the COVID restriction, things takes a bit of time.
Mhm.
But you have the right attitude, the time, and this is what you want, and this is what your dream is to do, then there will be no problem, because any obstacles that come in the way, you will override them as you go along. It's not easy, it takes time, and it's gonna be slow. Sometimes you're not gonna get anything for maybe weeks or
Mhm.
months, and as well, it's gonna take money as well. To
Mhm.
advertise, to put yourself outside for people to know you.
Mhm.
It's gonna take time, it's gonna take money, and it's gonna take faith.
Mm. Talking of money, have you considered having investors invest in your business?
No, I haven't had any investors to invest in my business. However, I don't even know how to go about it. But I just try from my own pocket and my skills and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Okay. If you carry on watching the program, we'll be having some investors who are interested in developing or investing in young people's brilliant ideas. They've got the money, they don't know how to cook, they can see your product and they know your product is good. Um, and they might be interested in investing in that product. I'll give you a very classic example of
Okay.
a Jamaican guy actually who came up with a sauce called Reggae Reggae sauce. I don't know if you've come across that.
Maybe how does there's quite a few people that does things as well, but I
Mhm.
don't know. Maybe it's just the photo that I see of them or something like that. But I know there's quite a lot. Like you have like Walker's Wood. Have you heard of Walker's Wood? That's
I
a good.
have, yes,
Yeah, we
yeah,
like with the jerk sauce they provide, the one which is very good for the jerk. I think it's
yes.
from Jamaica. So there are quite a few out there as well that I'm,
Hmm.
I'm not sure. But the
Yeah.
reggae reggae is a bit familiar.
So Reggae Reggae Sauce was started by a gentleman called Levi Roots, and he went to the Dragon's Den. There's a TV program called Dragon's Den, and he was pitching his idea to make this sauce to go in different supermarkets. And at that point, he had like sort of rough dreads and just kind of with a guitar, very rough and tumble, typical Jamaican lad. And a lot of people were laughing at him and thinking, oh gosh, dream on, that's not going to happen. And he
Is it?
went to the Dragon's Den and he came out with some amazingly lucrative deals. Now he has his sources all across supermarkets like Waitrose, Tesco's, Sainsbury's, Lidl, except for Lidl actually, Sainsbury's, Tesco's, and other supermarkets. And he also, with that same source, he his company, because he doesn't have to do any hard work anymore. He was just like a young person like yourself,
Yeah.
had this brilliant idea with a sauce that was not even in a great bottle. I was like, come on, Levi, you could have at least made an effort to put it in an attractive bottle, you know? And
Yeah.
he's from Brixton. So London as well. He was based in Brixton. And now he's a multimillionaire, pretty much a multimillionaire. Just one idea, one right person heard his story and believed that this sauce could make a difference on the market. So stay tuned. You never know. You never know where that grand destiny
Time is
help
gonna
might come
come.
from.
That's
Exactly.
true.
Yeah. Well, that is fantastic. And you mentioned that you are a nurse.
Yeah, the district nursing.
That is fantastic as well. So you're literally curing hunger as well as curing
Yeah,
patients.
cases, yeah,
Yeah.
catering to
How
patients
have
as
you
well.
found working as a nurse during the pandemic?
Well, in the pandemic, it wasn't that bad in the community.
Okay.
It wasn't that maybe bad like how it was in the hospital, but the
Hmm.
work was there. The workload was a lot.
Yeah. And how did you manage to keep yourself and your family safe?
Well, I just trust God and do the necessities that I have to do because my daughter, she have asthma as well,
Hmm.
and it has been so good. God has been so good. I've hadn't have COVID since the past, since everything happened. Meanwhile, most people have it. I've never had it. She had never had it because just imagine if I had it and then she have asthma, that
Mm.
would be really, really bad situation. But since the past two, maybe 3 years that this has been going on, I've
Hmm.
never catch COVID. I've dealt with COVID patient, but I've never.
Mm. So do you have a process that you go through when you come from work, or you're just
No, just
using
the
faith?
regular, just take off my clothes, the bath, and just the regular, just sanitizing my hands and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
nothing happens. It's just the same.
Yeah. And have you been vaccinated? Your family been vaccinated
Yeah, I've been vaccinated.
and boosted?
Not boosted as yet, but I've got my two jabs.
Okay,
I'm
fantastic.
just waiting for the boosted because they say some people say react, they give them a reaction.
Yeah.
So I was just maybe waiting, but I'm gonna have it, but not as yet.
Yeah. Well, I must say I've been boosted, and yes, I had the Pfizer. It was the first time that I actually had any reaction, like mild kind of a sickness and pain in the arm, like really swollen. But after a couple of days, it was fine. So it's definitely
Yeah,
worth.
the
I
scent
was,
goes after some time with a
yeah,
few
it
painkillers,
does.
isn't it?
Yeah. And I had never had any reactions ever in my life for whatever, whatever vaccination I would have. But so this was quite a bit concerning, but just within a couple of days it was gone. So it's not too bad.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's definitely, especially as a nurse, perhaps it's something that you may want to consider. But you are double vaccinated, so you're on the
Yeah, I'm
right
gonna
track.
do it, but I'm not ready as yet.
Yeah, I think it's good to have your own process of thoughts before you make that decision. It's a
Yeah,
personal decision, isn't it?
yeah.
Fantastic. Right. Now, if there's someone who's listening to your program and they live in Lewisham, they live in Brixton, they live in Camberwell, we have a lot of people in diaspora who are in those particular areas. What would you say to them? Sell them this idea, this amazing product of foods that you have.
Well, if you are listening and you're out there and it's interesting to you, you can find me on Facebook or WhatsApp. WhatsApp, you get a more prompt response. On I'm also on Instagram with maybe about nearly 800 viewers. I'm
Mhm.
on Facebook. My Instagram page was open before Facebook. My Facebook, I maybe have like 400 followers growing each day. And I'm more prompt on WhatsApp. WhatsApp or Facebook, any one of them, I tried my best
Mhm.
to give a prompt response.
Okay, lovely. And sell your cuisine. What's on the menu?
What's on the menu mostly? You can get lobster, seafood boil, prawns, fish, jerk chicken, oxtail, curry goat, rice and peas, fried rice, and what else do I have again? And I have this one, seafood. No, not seafood. I can't. Egg fried rice.
Egg fried rice, which is more on the Chinese background.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
prawns and eggs and stuff like that. Sometimes I incorporate a bit of coconut, a little bit of flavor inside of it.
The Jamaican chakalaka.
Yeah.
Well, you were talking about goats. In Britain, I've been reliably informed that the person who made goat curry famous or popular in Britain is Prince Harry when he went to Jamaica, and he couldn't have enough of that. So now you find British people ordering goat curry. But
Yeah, yeah, the
before,
other but goat curry. It depends. Yeah, they love goat curry or oxtail
hmm,
or stuff like that. Yeah, they really love they love curry goats. What happened? My seafood orders are more than the Caribbean orders. I don't know why.
hmm. That is quite interesting. Well,
Yeah.
Stacy, thank you so much for joining us on TV Bakwetu, and I wish you every luck in the world. I would like to see you succeed, and feel free to get in touch with me if you have any promotions. If you want to advertise anything, we can come up with a way to sort of get you out there because your food is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Viewers, that was a very delicious presentation of TV Bakwetu, quite literally. Did you see what I did there? Delicious, because we were talking about food. I love food. If this has really tickled your taste buds, you may want to go to Tracy's Facebook page. She runs a page called Tracy's Kitchen, and you will be inspired by the various cuisines that she has, recipes and pictorial evidence of what she's cooked, just so that you can just try it for yourself. And thank you so much for joining us. Till next time, God bless you and God bless our country. Goodbye.